these things I'm talking about, with the economic crash and things like that, are very likely could happen here in California. So take a look at Bakersfield, take a look at Fresno, take a look at Madera, and we're going to come in to some other cities and we'll talk about them as we go through. Desirable downtown location, which is something that I talk about a lot, gentrification. And that happens when young urban potential homeowners, they come in and want to live close to where they're working. See that happen a lot in the big cities. It's moving out into these outlying cities as well. There's
Turn right onto East Main Street.
Classic.
Then take the first right onto
Gentrification
Street.
Going on here. So now what you're doing, you're looking to see, okay, what investments could there be? Well, there already was just a block over a building
Right onto North California.
that is abandoned. And something that, if you had a vision, here's one right here, that you can look for. That it can either be a storefront or a potential place to live, because there's gentrification going on right next door. Right over here. See that building? That's exactly the kind of opportunity that's boarded up. That's probably been built and is going to be turned in to something which is right by this big building right here is a perfect opportunity. See that all boarded up? Now, would definitely be to purchase a building like that, get behind a conglomerate, turn it into apartment building. Now, there would be a lot of work there. You'd have to look at the fitness of the structure, whether it was a tear down, rebuild. Rebuild, of course, you would need many millions of dollars to do that, but can it be done? Yes. So I'm stopped in the green while a homeless veteran goes across on the street. Thank you for your service, my friend. And here we go. So just those 2 or 3 blocks back there, it's a different kind of investment opportunity. It's definitely higher end. You need more money. You need more vision. So look for opportunities in downtown Stockton. You have to have the kind of resources to be able to afford it, but there is opportunity. And here, downtown, you've got your coffee shops right across the street. You have the state of California building. Lord help us if they're actually doing anything that is a worthy service. The Californians. And looking for other opportunities. So in downtown Stockton, you've got 3 or 4 buildings. That you would have to work at, but somebody with a vision could invest that, build that, transition potentially into apartments. I don't know the condition of the buildings, whether they've been condemned and you're just talking about the dirt. in that case, you're going to need an even bigger investment to do it. But I mean, there are for a big developer here, big time, because again, it's a bedroom community, and you could really leverage some significant gentrification
Stay in the right
that's already going on. So there we go. And I would encourage you to take a look at that and look at it for investment. Here's another 47 units. This one right here, for sale. There you go. Okay, that one is an abandoned building that now they're going to sell and use for gentrification. Classic. Pretty cool to see what opportunities are out there and out here in Stockton, California.
turn left.
There's another gentrified area, apartment buildings. One right over here. Several of opportunities available like that. As you can see that I'm not real fancy with the camera here, don't need to be. What I need to be doing is telling you what the opportunities are here. So if you've got gentrification, I mean, you've got young urban professionals moving in. If you've got young urban professionals moving in, then you've got investment opportunities. Sacramento has it all over the place. Of course, the Sacramento Kings play here. They haven't been any good for over 20 years. One of my dad's favorite team when he was alive. And the last time they were any good was, well, when he was alive. And that was a long time ago. So we've got a lot of older areas mixed with newer areas. I just drove by another gentrified area with stores on the bottom level and levels of apartments building above, because that is young urban professionals like to live in areas close to downtown, close to the Capitol. The Capitol is real close to where we're at. There's a lot of older Victorian style houses in this area, which means that there's opportunity for investment opportunity. Now, because it's California, because it's Sacramento, you can't assume that you're going to get houses that are boarded up, vacant, just plain ugly. Not here, not in California, but you can find distressed rentals. You can find opportunities for owner financing. You can find subject to their loan, particularly relevant as this economy continues to shift. California is barreling towards socialism. Businesses are moving out. Taxation is going to be higher on the only people who can pay for the businesses, and it's a middle class. We always blame it on the billionaires. Remember that millionaire senator Bernie Sanders, who's running around blaming it on the billionaires while he flies in his corporate jet and pollutes the environment he so pretends to care about. It's true. That's the way they operate. Well, when the billionaires leave, it leaves a taxation hole. And that's what you have going on in California. So what happens is the middle class gets taxed more. How's that? Through gasoline taxes, taxes on grocery bags, road taxes, taxes here, taxes there, taxes everywhere. So we have to be to say the least, very creative in our strategy for real estate. And as we're doing that, to recognize what we have in front of us, and that is simply a investment opportunity that is there if you're funded right. So you're going to need to have a funding team to be able to act quickly. Sacramento, California as a whole, is not an area that you just want to pump power into unfunded and hope for success. You're going to need funding. You're going to need to be able to act quickly. See, a lot of people, when they get into the wholesale strategy, are doing it because it's a good entry. But often, as such, they're underfunded. Well, if you're underfunded, then you're not able to avail yourself to the opportunities that are here. Well, there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of older houses, especially that are closer to downtown. Moving out, you've got an urban sprawl. You got plenty of opportunity for boarded up, vacant, more distressed rental type of houses. Well, you buy those. You've got to be able to make investments, act quickly. You do that, then you get yourself into a position where you're looking for people who will owner finance, which is a real good way to go in California, subject to. And there are some flip and fix opportunities, but they've got to be acted on quickly. In other words, you got to have cash to if you have cash, then you have a better chance at an impulse sale where people need the money now. And then they get the money now, and you have the ability to fund it, then that helps in being able to move the deal along. In Sacramento, it still offers a strong wholesale distressed opportunity in areas like Oak Park, Elmhurst, parts of North Sacramento, Del Paso Heights is another area. Those areas, particularly Del Paso Heights, maybe North Sacramento, are driven by gentrification near downtown. Now, I definitely saw that as I was there. Now, areas like Tahoe Park, River Park, newer developments, Natomas, places like that, Elk Grove, where they offer safer, more stable rentals and more growth. But to focus on distressed rentals, you're going to look closer to older housing stocks. That's downtown. Okay, closer to downtown. There's plenty of them. So I would do that. Look for wholesale flip and fix opportunities. Gentrification potential lies in areas like Midtown. Just been through it. True. Very good. For those people seeking appreciation and cash flows, there's good opportunity there. You can go to places like the City of Sacramento government that can help you. Rentastic.io. That's another place you can look to find potential places and things like that. Now, wholesale distressed areas, you want to focus on areas with older homes near revitalized zones. That's downtown, baby. There you go. Bingo. End of story. Downtown, Midtown, East Sacramento, distressed rentals. You'll look for opportunities needing renovation in stable areas. That's the big thing. When you got areas that are showing rehab, new builds, plenty of things downtown, there is a great value add potential. Gentrification, high potential in areas, boarding desirable spots like Midtown and downtown, parts of Oak Park, Elmhurst, parts of North Sacramento along the transit corridor. If you get the transit corridors, it's a great place to look for gentrification. Follow the transit lines and look for the money. So anything like that is very, very important and popular. And we just missed our turn. So best areas ranked: East Sacramento, fabulous 40s, River Park, established and desirable. That's cool. Midtown, downtown, been through that. Excellent area. Amenities, walkability, growth, job centers, but it's expensive. Natomas, north-south, good value, newer homes, suburban feel, stable rentals. Tahoe Park, Elmhurst, transitional. Gentrified, proximity to downtown, more distressed opportunities. Now that's probably where I'd focus first. South Sacramento, Del Paso, Gardenland, more affordable, higher distress, significant revitalization areas. Best gentrified opportunities: Oak Park, proximity to UC Davis, so there you go. Younger area, college area, people are going to be interested in that. Strong gentrification indicators, so that's all important. North Sacramento, undergoing revitalization, downtown, housing stock is ripe. Boy, a lot of stuff here. Tahoe area, Tahoe Park, transitional, gentrifying, more distressed opportunities. Sacramento is a great area. I wish I lived closer to here because we'd have more opportunities. But we are doing a lot of work with Defy Mobile, and we'll get there. So if you're looking for great opportunities, look no further than Sacramento. Certainly going to areas like Stockton. We were in Manteca earlier today. Very good areas. Because when you're by transit hubs or where people are constantly moving to, like Manteca doesn't have any direct transit like the BART system, but they do have people who are transitioning out there. You're going to have great real estate opportunities. So get out there, look for the opportunities. They're all over the place. Sacramento is ripe with them. And get involved and make it happen. But make sure you're funded. You can't do this overfunded. It just doesn't work. Because while you'll think you got a lot of deals, the reality is you don't have funding to get the deals through, so you're making yourself feel good, but you're not getting it done. That's straight talk. Let me help you out. We're back, and before we head into downtown Tulsa to check out some gentrification areas, I'm going to tell you exactly how I found it. Now, you can utilize ChatGPT, any of the other AI services, and I simply wrote in there, and this is something that is unbelievably different than it was 2 years ago. I just asked it, what is your recommendation for the top gentrification areas in Tulsa? In other words, young urban professionals moving in. And populating it and increasing the housing prices. Now, in the old days, we have to look up and find things on Google, and it just wasn't as strong as this. So you really could not find but the plan would be to go to those areas and to check it out, because you can't take what artificial intelligence says is the gospel. You got to go out and check it out. So I asked it for 2 specific addresses. The first one he came up with, property addresses, was Kendall Whittier. That's in the central area of Tulsa. I know exactly where that is. I've been there before. And I asked it for a specific address. Why? Because I want to go there and compare that with what I know. I found 2205 East Admiral Boulevard, and 2 specific areas out of that. One was 508 North Tulsa, or North Florence Place in Tulsa. And I asked it for a description. What kind of a description? It was recently sold. It was a renovated bungalow. These were actually properties that were sold next to this area. It shows typical rehab, comps demand for renovated historic homes. See, when you start seeing that, you see renovated historic homes, you see new builds, and boarded up vacants just plain ugly. That is a gold mine. You've seen my videos, you've heard me talk about Tulsa before. And then another example that I asked for, I'm going to go to both of those, and I'm going to check out the neighborhoods. It's 309 South Victor Avenue. Example of mid-market sold homes in the pocket showing buyer demand for updated single-family homes. There's a lot of those areas in Tulsa. Makes it something very, very desirable. Why would you go to Kendall Whittier overall? So we're going to find that out. Focused Main Street revitalization. When you see revitalization, that's where you want to start. There's grants, facade programs, new restaurants, creative spaces. That's ground zero for great gentrification opportunities. And then Brady Heights. That is the edge of the Arts District in Brookside. Well, that didn't surprise me, because that's where the young urban professionals like to be. So I've got 2 places I'm going to visit there. 744 North Denver Avenue. Recent sale in Brady Heights demonstrates active transition in historic stock close to the Arts District. You know, and young urban professionals like to be artsy, so this doesn't surprise me at all. And then 1106 North Denver, another nearby sold example, smaller sale price, but strong upside due to proximity. See, and AI knows this. It's the proximity that gives you the upside. Why Brady Heights? Again, proximity to the Arts District. Brookside nightlife, dining, downtown Tulsa, creates strong lifestyle demand. Classic gentrification. So we're not going to talk about it. We're going to go look at it. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. Now you can do this too, or you can direct message me at John Sarver 951-847-0116, and I'll help you do it. Look me up on YouTube and all the other social media services. I'm there, I can help. So what do you do in cold winter days? It doesn't look that cold, but trust me, it is. Here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, well, you look for areas of gentrification. And where gentrification is where the money is in real estate. Now, it may take some additional pockets. You see that right up there? That's gentrification. Because those second, third, and fourth floors, people live there. Now I'm here at One OK Field, which is a Tulsa Drillers minor league baseball park. If you know me, you know I'm a big baseball fan. I've been here many times during the summer. But we were doing a little lunch, with our Defy Mobile team right here and decided to come and check this out and just see if my hunch, because part of what you learn when you do real estate a lot is you begin to trust your instincts. And your instincts will tell you a lot of things. So, one area of investment is by what's ever happening in downtown. And One OK Field is what happens. They have a lot of outdoor concerts, a lot of things happening here for families and kids during the season, not to mention about 60 baseball dates in a year. So this field right behind me, I've sat just about everywhere there. It's a really cool minor league park. But as I've been here several times, I haven't looked at this like I look at it now, because, well, what are we doing on this video? We're looking for real estate opportunities. So right behind me, see that building right up there? The view? Guess what's there? The young urban professionals who live and work downtown. And literally, you're 2 or 3 blocks away from downtown here. So you've got these apartments here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with about 15 on each. So you got 15, 30, 60, 90, 100. You probably have a 400 unit apartment building. Now, for most of us as investors, that's going to be beyond what we can do. But if you have connections to funders, then there's opportunity. But what I would do, and I've shown this in a previous video, we were just in Central California, Stockton. I'm trying to remember where that was. It was just last week. But we're at Stockton, and we saw just a couple of buildings from downtown. There were buildings that were for sale. See this right here? That's all people living. You see the lower, you see what I talk about, the corner store, fresh bread, leasing agent. There you go. That is classic vacation right across from One OK Field, right here. So this is one of the areas, obviously, in Tulsa that you want to take a look at. As you go up here, I parked up here for a game this season, and it wasn't a real estate day, so I wasn't looking at this with real estate eyes. That's why you're going with me, because when you start to lock in with real estate eyes, as my mentor Todd Dotson has said, you'll never be the same. And 100% true on that. 100% true. There's one guy who knows what he's talking about when it comes to what this does to you. So we're walking over here, and now we're in center field, and right behind us on the corner, right over there, is another building. Here we are, One OK Field. And you can see this one, the view. Look how big that is. There's probably 500 or 600 units. How you doing? Good, thank you. Over in that other building, literally 2 or 3 blocks from downtown. A short walk, short drive. But the opportunity now over here You see those buildings in the corner? That's all classic downtown gentrification. So there you go, Silhouette, Sneakers and Art. Usually the big indicator of gentrification is living units on the second and third floor, some kind of commerce on the bottom floor. And you got that, you got classic gentrification happening. Now over here, behind me, is a building that now has got a dual use because of it being around the stadium. That's what you see in a lot of these cities here. Stadiums being built and then commerce opportunities around them. There's a big case of that in Atlanta. Turner Field is where the 1996 Olympics were. Here's behind me, more gentrification here, big time. You've got this right here, classic, right down here. This is all gentrified. Glenwood Eatery, all built around the stadium with a second floor. Would not be surprised if those were living dwellings or offices for downstairs. Nevertheless, there's an opportunity here. So, hey there, how you doing, man? So, people are nice here too. It's the Midwest. You usually don't walk around with your phone on a selfie and wonder about it getting ripped off. Here's T's Barbershop. Right above, see that, are some kind of apartments or offices. Here you can walk right through here into the center field of One OK Field, and I'll give you an idea of what this looks like. But this is classic, so you go, okay, great, but I don't have the money to start. Well, what you need to do is find people who have it. And you need to get a vision and need to get out and start looking with different eyes. Now, I bet if you lived in Oklahoma City and you came here, you wouldn't see what I see. And you don't see what I see because you're not looking with the trained eyes. But now that we have the trained eyes, here's the field behind it. You start to see things in a completely different light. So there are offices and businesses on the second floor here. And again, these buildings are now built or retrofitted to have these dual use. We're downstairs, a lot of bars, a lot of eateries. Well, of course, because you got a baseball field. What are people going to do before and after a game? They're going to come out here. What are they going to do during the big games? They'll come out here. Now, this is always located by a big thoroughfare. Part of gentrification is easy in, easy out. So when you're downtown like this, it's easy in, easy out. Now, they are working on a lot of the stadium right now. So I'm gonna see if I can get through. It's a time of the year where they do that. So you see a lot of real opportunity here. Now, remember, I was in Stockton just last week, and I came across 2 empty buildings. If we drove, we would probably find some empty buildings. The question is if they're going to fit our portfolio. And you really have got to be businesses, professional sports teams like this where there's a demand. There's a demand here because, well, they have probably 80 events a year. That means the businesses are going to be able to benefit from the foot traffic. And when you got that, well, you got demand. So that's what we've got going on here. Now we're walking through right next to the highway, the ballpark. I've actually never been on this walk before. So it's, even though it's cold, it's enjoyable. So you got a lot of opportunity here. Opening night, April 2nd, not that far away. Spring training happening in less than a month. Hard to seem hardly possible. The Dodgers just won their second championship about 2.5 months ago, and that seems like yesterday. Which the lesson is, the older you get, the faster it goes. So, a lot of gentrification opportunities here in downtown OKC. We're going to see some of the areas that they talked about on ChatGPT in a minute. Gentrification comes in a lot of different forms and sizes, and here you can see a community that is less than a mile from downtown. And this is classic gentrification, where you have the young urban professionals living in houses, townhouses really, like this. And you see this park right here. Perfect for little kids, isn't it? The commute to downtown is less than 2 minutes. So you get these towns that pop up, or these little projects, as they call them in real estate, that pop up specifically to cater to young urban professionals. Now, you don't have what you have down by One OK Field. And those are literally the stores and the convenience locations right under their nose. But the point is that this is classic gentrification. So it comes in different forms. Now, of course, the kind of real estate we do, you're not going to be looking at this kind of area. But if you know how to get lots, and I know how to find those, John Sarver, direct message me, 951-847-0116. And you can buy plots of land close to these cities and make it. Gentrification takes a lot of forms. It looks differently, or looks different depending where you're at. We're coming into the Kendall Whittier area, which is about a mile outside of Tulsa. And this is classic gentrification, where you have these studios coming in, different businesses that appeal to younger people. A lot of evidence of that. There's a Golden Salon, Whittier Hair, classic Route 66 right over there. This is on North and Lewis. It's not too far away from downtown. You see an old movie theater, Latino's Mexican Grill, Ziegler supplies and framing. But the appeal to this is where younger people would be drawn to this. Now the question is, well, okay, here you got the businesses, but there's got to be a reason or something to support these businesses. So let's take a look at the housing. We're just going to drive by here, and sure enough, we have a rehab right here. It has definitely been worked on. Some older inventory here. the point is, you have inventory that can support what's going on in that Kendall Whittier area. So over here, yep. You know, some of these probably would be Airbnbs. Now these are rough, but there's one back there that would be an Airbnb. You look into Tulsa, and you don't have to go too far to where you start seeing what the idea is here on how to fix up and rent Airbnbs. It's a lot more lucrative, in my opinion, than straight renting. Yeah, straight renting, you can depend on them, so you gotta make sure you're in the right place. See, this will be an Airbnb type house, and it's you can tell it's up for sale. So it's a house that's up for sale. So we're not that far. Downtown is just right over here. So the Kendall Whittier area gives some good opportunity for investment. There are older houses for sure, and there are houses that you could probably get in close to wholesale or distressed rental level. And these are houses then for people who come in and work in this area, work in Tulsa, or here visiting like I am for a week. A lot of need for rentals. So that is one thing I would suggest. It's done. My buddy is not paying attention, right? But he says that Shaker Heights is an up-and-coming gentrified area where you kind of have an older area that's transitioned, particularly in the last few years. It's in eastern Cleveland, the edges of eastern Cleveland. Investors flag it as having pockets of opportunity and investor potential. He said definitely. With the younger people, gentrification going on there, that is definitely happening. Okay, we're back. We're walking to the Cavaliers-Lakers game, and you have classic gentrification right behind me. You've got the buildings here. This is typical urban type of setup with all these bars, breweries, places to eat, and then above them are your apartments, and you can see that behind me. So this was a great little investment back in the day when they built this arena, and look at how they're taking advantage of this. When you're looking for investment opportunities, well, obviously this one is past, but this is gentrification. This is what we're talking about. It's happening in Cleveland, Ohio. So we're about finished with Cleveland. Lots of gentrification down here in the city square. Look at the lights. You've got a lot of apartments and business buildings. I think there's a combination of both. We're coming back after the Cavalier game, and we're walking to the hotel, which in retrospect is probably crazy, but I think it's funny watching this later. So you start in the city center here and you look for opportunities. This is the Key Tower right here. Right on the other side of that, thankfully. And we'll get inside to some warmth. Look at all these roads, they're just covered. It is extremely cold out here, but it's been a blessing being here, blessing seeing what's going on in Cleveland. A lot of gentrification, a lot of places for young urban professionals downtown. Start moving out. Just a mile and a half from the city center.